Well, hello everyone, and welcome again. This is another edition of Sci-Fi Model Action Live. We've got some modeling friends with us today from here in the U.S. and over in the U.K. And let's kick things off today and have everybody introduce themselves. I'm going to start off first with Andy. How you doing, Andy?
All right, thanks. How is everybody?
Doing wonderful.
Cool.
We'll get back to you guys, or get back to you and have you show us what you're working on today, Andy. We've got Andy number 2. How you doing today, Andy?
Hey Boyd, hi guys. Yeah, doing really good, thanks. Sweltering heat here in the UK. It's hotter than Barbados.
Yeah, likewise, my friend. It's 100 degrees as I speak in my just outside the door here. And we've got Craig Kerr with us today. How you doing, Craig? Long time no see.
Not too bad, Boyd. It's nice to be on your Hangouts again. Sabre UK on SFMA, and at the minute I'm working on a 1-to-350 refit, which I'm holding you responsible for, Boyd, because I'm following your video guide.
I'm glad I could get you hooked there, Craig. It's a fun model, eh?
No, not at all. I've done the shuttle bay, which I'm just wiring up to try and get the lights going to show you. You had a couple of really good little trips on that. Tricks. I like the little SMDs for the, you know, the, what do you call it?
Approach lights or runway lights?
No, the turbo lifts. You know, the
turbo lifts.
4 SMDs.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you can see in there.
Oh, yes. Beautiful.
Got that
Lower it
going.
down just a little bit. There you go, Craig. You got it in the shot there. Oh, it looks beautiful.
I've got the running lights going on in there.
Nice.
I've got all the tenor control boards, pretty much everything you can get from Ralph for this I've got off him. Everything. I've done my little thing, me little
nice.
off the ground thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
Just got a few more bits to do on that.
I love those swinging psychedelic colors, mate.
I don't know if you can see in there. I've got me arboretum thing done.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
All my little trees and everything. That was a handy little tip again, Boyd, with the HO scale trees.
Yes.
Top saucer. We've got all the lights and that in. I've just got some to do around here. Middle.
Very nice.
I've done the rear window as per your instructions as well. So this is just pretty much a copy of your work, like.
Well, I'm glad it works. It's nice. The window looks like it's molded right into the body there. Perfect.
Yeah, you made your instructions really easy to follow on that one.
Good job.
It is pretty much part of the ship. I do have a question for you though while we're on this, actually.
Okay.
The top bit, you put 2 SMDs in the front.
Yes.
How did you mount them to this?
Just with a little bit of CA glue.
You actually glued it to the top of this, or did you glue it into that?
I glued it onto the bottom of into the small little bridge piece you just had there, Craig.
Yep.
And what you're going to do is it's kind of tricky, but what you want to do is you somehow want to just put a tiny, tiny little bit of CA so they're barely hanging on there. So you can kind of still move them a little bit, and it's going to take a little bit of playing around to get them aimed the way you want. So you're going to get the floodlight effect coming down and spreading out onto the front of the saucer like you like it to. It's kind of and then you're going to tune it as far as how far forward you're going to put it, so it'll clear the ledge. Yeah.
That's kind of where I've got mine. I don't know if you can see that very clearly.
Yeah, that looks good.
That's about as far forward as I can get it. You know, without losing the detail on the top bit there.
Right. Yeah. You don't want it to be too far forward; it won't look right. But yeah, it's exactly what we did.
Yeah, it's just behind. You know the little lines for the that duck egg blue or whatever it is. It's just behind that.
That should look good. Yep. Yeah, it's just those SMDs are just a little tricky as far as getting them aimed just right. It takes a little bit of trial and error, but you'll figure it out. What I do is I have just one little overhead light on and the rest of the shot dark, and then I can just try them a little bit, turn the lights completely out and look at it until I get it, and then glue them completely down in place. And what I do is I make a little clear lens out of some of that. Oh, I just use this stuff like this, this stuff that comes in these like blister packs.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just cut a little piece of that out and put a little lens in front of it, and then on the sides, I just fill those with crystal clear, the side windows.
Is that what you're using for glass for the bigger windows, like the officer's deck and that, is it?
Yes, this same stuff right here. Mm-hmm.
Right, because that was the other question I was going to ask you. What were you using for the windows? It
really works good because it's thin. You can curve to the shape if you want it to, and if you get some that's got a little bit of a little bit of haze or fine scratches on it, I use this stuff right here. It's like an automotive paint polish.
Right.
And you can just buff it right out, and it'll look just crystal clear, like real glass, where you can't even tell it's there.
Right.
It's really good.
Happy days.
Glue it on with some canopy glue, and it won't hurt it, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, the next project from this now is doing the Aztecing, which I'm going to follow your video again. But I didn't really quite appreciate how many masks you get from the orbital dry dock 5-color.
Yeah.
Turned up, it's like that thick. You're like, oh no, wow.
It's a lot of work, yeah. But once you start getting into it, Craig, and you start getting into a flow and learning how to peel them off and get them put on and everything, you'll start, your hands will start getting used to it, and you'll move along a lot faster. The nacelles are the hardest part on the model to do. Mm-hmm. So I would leave those to the end till you get experience with using the other stuff, and then do those at the end.
Yeah, when you're doing your Aztecing, do you do the the strong back and everything? Do you use the decals, or do you paint the strong back and that in the blue?
I use the decals. I get them from Jerry at HDA Model Works. He makes a beautiful set that he did a lot of research to get the color. Depending on whether you're doing the A or the refit. The refit, they're more of a greenish gray looking color, whereas on the A they're more of that duck egg blue. And he did a lot of research, and he's got that color and that pattern. I mean, spot on. So it saves you a lot of work. And the decals, they're so nice when they're put on. You get them, use a little bit of that microsol and get them all settled. They look like they're painted on. They look really good.
Yeah. Do you put them over the top of the Aztecing? That's probably a dense question, but.
Yeah, that area where they go on, I just don't even paint anything on there except the hull color. I just don't paint the Aztecing there.
Okay, cool.
They blend right in. When you buy that set, you also get the he's also got this other set. I don't know if you knew about that or not. I'll show it to you if I can find it real quick. You get enough to do 2 models, and you've got this set here, which
is that?
See,
oh yeah.
Your arboretum and your VIP lounge.
Yeah.
And then all the decals for your. If you wanted to do your, if you wanted to open up on the saucer, you've got that photo etch airlock part.
Yeah.
And these are all the decals to cover up the cargo containers, which makes so you don't have to paint them. Which is really nice.
That's HDA, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a nice set.
Still getting over the 5-color mask set.
Yeah.
See, when I stop for a nervous breakdown, I will be blaming you.
You'll be okay. Just take your time. And are you using the water-based? What type of paints are you using, Craig?
Well, we had a bit of I tried to get some of the lacquer polytranspar that you use.
Right.
I got in touch with Mackenzie's, and the only way they're going to ship it to the UK, the lacquer, is if I fill a container, like a 20-foot container, because they will not send it by air because it's dangerous goods, because it's alcohol. And then the post office on this side won't accept it because it's hot. So we can only get the acrylic stuff. But that's what I found in my local hobby store. It says it's an artist ink, but it goes on like acrylic.
Okay.
And it's already thinned down. It already tells you on there you can use it for airbrushes and stuff. I don't know if you can see the little badge. It's already thinned down.
Well, I know Andy G over there. He got some of the water-based polytranspar, and he's done some test spraying with it. He said he really liked it.
Well, I thought I heard something about Mackenzie got on Google Plus on one of the sci-fi model action or something, and trying to work with some people to fill out the proper paperwork to get some over there.
Yeah, Craig was the one that was kind of spearheading that effort, trying to get that organized, but it's difficult for them to send that over there. I mean, like I said, when I was doing my own line of paints, the Cosmic Color stuff, I had a huge response. as far as people that wanted it, but I couldn't ship it because it was so many, all these regulations and restrictions and everything. And let me tell you, if you get caught shipping it without the proper paperwork, I'll be in jail for 20 years.
Yeah.
You can actually ship it in small quantities, in what's called limited quantities. So you don't need a dangerous goods note. But to send it by air, because of what it is, which is the quickest method to get it here, otherwise it's 8 weeks on a boat. So they send it by air. So they need a dangerous goods note for that. But it's got to be in bulk. So by them saying in bulk, they want to send it in a container, which is 8 to 10 weeks. But that's like 22 ton of polytranspar paint that I've got to try and get rid of, and I can't afford 22 ton of the stuff.
Well, yeah.
A couple of refits.
Here's a copy of Jerry Strongback that you're talking about.
That's cheap. Wow. They really look nice.
So if...
Hello, Shannon, and welcome.
Thanks, Boyd.
Glad to have you with us today. We just got a bummer of announcement that Kenny Law posted. Guys said that that really disappoints me. It says Polar Lights Round 2 has canceled the Alien Queen model kit and has decided to completely get out of making figure kits. So that sucks.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Jerry found out last night or Thursday. He got a message from his dealer guy saying that they canceled it.
I tell you, I've said this before. I'm really starting to lose a lot of faith in Round 2, and in fact, I kind of hope that they give up on the Star Trek license altogether and give it to somebody who actually is going to do something with it.
Oh yeah,
they've made so many cancellations in the last year. I have my doubts if we're ever going to see the Galileo kit or any of the new Star Trek kits that they're doing. I mean, we got the 1000 Reliant. That was a miracle that even came out.
Well, it seems like they're in a repop mode.
Yeah, that's all they're doing. Just bringing back old stuff.
The only thing
and
they're
not even improving it at all.
Yeah, I think the Alien with the egg, Captain Kang with the egg, I think that one's still going to be produced because it's in production. So I think they're going to have that one, but they canceled all the rest.
Yeah, that Alien Queen was going to be such a beautiful kit too. The pose that they had it in and everything, it was gorgeous.
I really hope they ain't cancelled that Soloco. I really wanted that big Soloco, and so did Andy.
Yeah, I want one too, but I wouldn't count on it. Like I said, Round 2, last year, even looking at what they had as far as announcements from Wonderfest, it was pretty disappointing. They didn't have anything exciting really at all, I didn't think. But yeah,
I dropped out.
Give the license to Mobius. They'll do something with it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Excellent model kits.
They're getting into figures. They're showing. I think they just Comic-Con that's going on right now. I think Mobius waited to announce all their stuff there, and I've seen on Facebook that Brad Hare's been showing some different figure kits. I guess they're going to come out with, plus the Fantastic Journey or whatever it is. What's the name of that ship? The
Fantastic Voyage.
Voyage. I mean, yeah, they're going to come out with a nice looking kit of that.
Yep, I've always liked that one too. Yep. Well, let's go back to the Andys here real quick and see what they're working on. Andy number 1, what have you got going? Your lighting on your videos that you showed on the updates were beautiful. Oh yeah, it's starting to come together.
Slowly but surely.
Very nice. What color have you chosen for your hull color, Andy, or is it still in bare plastic? I can't tell.
That's still plastic, but I've gone with a popular car shop in the UK, as Craig and Andy will know, is Halfords. Their rattle can stuff. This one is Vauxhall Glacier White. It's got a slight blue tinge to it, though, just ever so slightly. But it's on it, and you might not see it, but got a gloss in it to it as well.
Yeah. deflector housing. That's beautiful.
So it's shiny. But, nice. It'll be good. I'll do a larger test now to see how it goes. But, yeah, getting closer to the finish.
Yep. For those of you watching, you can go over to the Sci-Fi Model Action Google site, and you can see a nice video that'll show you a clearer picture of Andy's ship with the lights, and he's got the beautiful phaser firing effects, the strobing on the saucer. The timing of that looks spot on, Andy. Really nice. Okay, let's go to Andy number 2 now and see his version of the JJ Prize. He's working on the same thing.
Yeah, certainly am. I'm currently working on the secondary hull. We worked a way of, well, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but getting
You're building a cutaway version.
Yeah, getting the brass tube mounted in there, so that's all epoxied in now. So
explain a little bit of that, Andy. A lot of the viewers would like to know how you actually mount that brass rod in there.
Yeah, so luckily the JJ has got a couple of structural supports in the middle of the secondary hull, and what we decided to do was we cut a few bits of thick styrene, and they pretty much sit on the top and the bottom of the structure because there's some little cutouts, and they were just perfect size. So cut the cut the styrene to fit, drilled out the 2 holes, and it is absolutely rock solid in there. Once the tube is epoxied in place, it's not going anywhere. And as Andy G has found out, with all the wiring, soldering, that's now in that primary hull, it's very front heavy.
Right.
So, yeah, we needed something very, very solid, and I'm really happy with how that came out. So that's also, it's what, 12 mil tube, so that's going to be enough to get the huge amount of wiring down and out into the base. So yeah, I'm getting there. I'm hoping maybe by the end of tonight I'll have the secondary hull put together, but I'm not rushing it. So yeah.
No, never a good idea to rush it. Yep, take your time. It's really looking nice, Andy.
Yes.
Both of you guys are doing an outstanding job. I think those are going to be some of the nicest builds that I've seen of those so far. Really, really detailed.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to swing over to Shannon real quick and see what Shannon's working on. What have you been doing lately, Shannon?
Not much of anything. Been taking a little rest for a bit, but
I was thinking do that.
Working on this. I've been thinking about working on this little.
Oh, lovely kit.
Yes, the B. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the B, but there's one slight problem. I don't know if the contour putty will work on filling in any open gaps or not. What I wanted to ask you guys, it's from Testers.
Oh, the Testers putty?
Yeah, the Testers putty.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of that stuff. I really like their glue, but I don't care for their putty too much, Shannon. Some of the other guys may have tried it, but you might want to get yourself some of the Squadron white putty or the 3M red spot putty.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Andy's
too.
holding up the Squadron tube there. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I only got this because it was cheap once upon a time.
Yeah.
That does not mean it will work.
Right. They do have some good products, though. I mean, their glue is good, and they have that product called Window Maker. That's for doing clear stuff. That works pretty good.
Yeah. I just wondered. That's what I asked you for, Boyd. I want to know that.
I have a video series. It's a little old. You have to go back a ways there to see it, Shannon. But on my channel, I built one of those Enterprise Bs, and I took you through the whole thing of building it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. Yeah, it shows you some of the secondary hull of that model is a little bit tricky. It doesn't fit very well, but you can get it together if you just take your time and everything.
Oh yeah, all of it you can get together. You just take your time. I've seen how you did it. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Boy,
I kind of wish I would have. I wish I would have lit it, but I can always do another one. At least they haven't discontinued that kit like they are everything else.
I know if they do, maybe they should go to. Maybe Revel should pick up the license.
Yeah, yeah, somebody.
What I'm seeing with their Star Wars stuff, they do pretty good with Star Trek. I'll tell you that.
I will tell you they're discontinuing the Siege, Jerry found out.
Oh boy. Yeah. What are we gonna have left? Nothing but those little 2500 scale
And,
Tinker kits.
and 1,000 scales.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll see. If I mean, to me, it's like, if Paramount CBS owns that license and you're supposed to be out there, selling the stuff, if you're not selling enough of it or doing anything with it, I'd be telling them, hey, I'm giving the license to somebody else. That's how I'd take care of that. But anyway. All right, guys, I'm going to show you real quick. I just got a couple pictures I'm going to show as far as what we've been doing here, if I can bring this up for you.
Maybe.
You know me in these screen shares.
I don't think they work good for anybody.
Okay, let me give this a shot here. Okay, let me know if you guys can see that picture.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's my good pal Jeremy helping out here. He's working on the Reliant. You can see there he worked on the windows. I showed him how to do all that, use the Paragraphics window templates, and he did a great job getting those all put on right there. He's doing a little bit of priming and everything on it. And we made the same modification on the bridge to that model as we did on the big 350. We, raised it up a little bit and put an SMD in there so we can get the floodlight on the front part of the saucer there, because I've seen some other people that put an LED in the BC deck, and I just didn't want to do that. I think this looks better.
Yeah.
And we're doing buddy work there on the back of the bridge and getting ready to put the photo etch parts on that. Got the strobe light mounted in there. And then here I'm working on cutting out the opening for the officer's lounge window frame from Paragraphics. And here you can see he's got it all light blocked, and last night he put in all the LEDs and did that all by himself. I thought he did a really great job. We're using these really small, up here at the front, you can see where I'm pointing with my mouse. If you use like a 3mm LED, they won't clear each other. When you try to put the top together to the bottom, they'll butt up against each other. They're too big. So we wound up using some 1.5 millimeter LEDs for those. If you guys know what they look like, I'll show you a picture here in just a second. But there's the bottom half all ready to go. So we're going to be closing that one up tonight. We've got to put the strip lighting in there, but it's just about ready to go for that. But here's a picture right here of what one of those LEDs looks like for some of you who may not have seen it. It's very, very tiny. And you have to be careful when you bend the leads on this too, because they're really fragile, but they work perfect for this. We had plenty of clearance to get everything put in there, and they light up really bright. Yet they're nice and small and in scale, so.
Yeah, I was going to say they're probably more in scale.
Yep, they look really good. So the Reliant's doing really well, and we've got the Dune ship, and we're already kind of where, I'll show you this real quick. Kind of at where Craig is. We're on our second refit here. He just finished up putting in the officer's lounge window frame there. We just got a little bit of putty and sanding to do on that, and all this has already been done on the inside. He did a great job. I showed him that we needed to cut out all these little slots all the way around to get our lighting in there and everything, and he did a great job on that too. So, kid's got good hands. I'm really pleased with how he's picking this up.
Is this his first model that he's ever done, Boyd?
His first, yeah. He's never done any kind of models before. Maybe a couple of cars, but a long time ago when he was a kid.
And you've thrown him straight into a refit. Wow.
Yeah. He's gonna paint for the first time tonight. We've got the big gun set up. He's gonna throw down the base coat on the Reliant. He's all excited about that. He's all nervous. I don't want to screw it up. I said, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. So I'll be right there to yell at you if you screw it up, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, remember, he's learning from the master, so.
Oh, no, I don't. I can paint okay, but.
He'll make sure it's okay.
Yeah, I just really get a kick out of him and all the other people that you know, when they first start out, and then when you get some feedback from them, and you see that they're having some success, and there's more people, you know, joining the hobby and things like that. Now he wants to, like I said, he wants to get going on this this car. You know, he's a big fan of the Pontiac GTO.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, he's excited about doing that. Wants to do some lighting on it and stuff. So we're gonna get one of Ralph's boards in here for that.
You tell him about my Trans Am?
Oh yeah, I've shown him pictures of it. He loved it, Dave.
Yeah, well, there's a video on YouTube too where it
Yep.
shows all the lighting.
Yeah, he's all excited about that. So that's about it. I mean, I'm close to finishing up the other refit here. I've done all the work on the. I guess I'll show them to you really quick. These are. I did a little video the other day where I showed how I finished off doing the touch up and everything on them, but these are beautiful. They came out. You can't see any seam at all on them. They're perfect. It took about 3 or 4 tries. I got lucky on this kit. You know, you guys that have played around with these, you probably know what I'm talking about. Some of them are where they connect together here. They have what we call a really bad step. You know, like where one is higher than the other one. But
Yeah,
these,
mine's like that.
yeah, these lined up really good, and so all the priming is done. All the base coat's on there now, and I've got the little winglet things here all put together. And so now, starting this afternoon, I'm going to start doing the Aztecing. That's going to be about 2 or 3 days worth of work on each one, I imagine. So.
Are you putting the thrusters in them, Boyd?
I'm sorry?
Are you putting the thrusters in? You know, Ralph's
Yes.
got the thruster board.
Oh no, mine are just going to be lit all the time, Craig. I've got a. You can see it here if I can get it in the shot. You can see I've got my little SMD hanging out right there.
Yep.
That'll just get tucked into the wing when I glue it in, and as far as what I can tell on the movie, they look like they're on all the time. I never saw a shot of them, you know, going off and on. But I guess in theory that's what they're supposed to be able to do. But I'm just building them with them lit all the time. I might try that board the next time I build another one, though.
Yeah, sooner rather than later.
Right.
I need help with that as well.
Well, I have customers that ask me about putting in real lasers in the model, and I kind of shy away from that a little bit because my thing is that being in a business, I would worry that you know, some little kids could wind up playing with the model and wind up putting him, you know, hey, you know how kids are, you know, hey, Junior, come over here, look at this, and turn it on and put it right in his eyes or something, you know. I mean, that's a little, I worry about that a little bit, even though it's a cool effect, but you can really only see it if you put some smoke in the room or something anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well,
more like what Andy did looks better, where he's just got them where you can see them like flashing or whatever, you know. That's all you really need.
Starling's putting out a board that gives you lasers now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I thought the same thing. I thought, man, seems to me like a lot of liability. I mean, if something would happen, you know.
Yeah. So in order to get them,
Boyd, if you ever want to
where they're
do,
bright enough, they definitely have to be fairly powerful.
Boyd, if you ever want to do one of the builds with the lighting kit that I made for the Arduino, I'd be happy to send you one.
Oh, that'd be great, Andy. Yeah. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Yeah, I've got a client that just sent me an order for. I'm going to get a chance to build. Have you guys seen the badass 1/2500 scale Battlestar Galactica kit?
Oh boy.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
that-
huge.
JT Graphics.
It is. Yeah, it's put out by JT Graphics. It's a beautiful kit. I mean, it is unbelievably detailed and made to be lit. You know, it comes in all little separate pieces. It's all hollow and everything, so you can do all the lighting. And it's about a $500 model kit just to
Yeah, it's
start
pretty
off.
expensive.
Yeah.
You're going to need to move again shortly for more space.
That one's not mine. That one's going out to a client, but he was wondering if, you know, he wants it to have some battle damage on it. So I'm going to have to go and look and see what kind of battle damage they had on the show and things like that to kind of figure out. I know they had places on it, right, where they had it looks like there's been armor panels replaced and things like that.
Now you talk about the original.
No, no, this is the BSG 75. You know, the new series.
Oh, okay. The reimage. Okay.
Yeah. Well, figure it's 2500 scale. Okay, this kit here, the Mobius version, is this builds out to what, a little over a foot long, like 16 inches, something like that. So this other kit being at 2500 is going to be literally more than twice as big as this one.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty neat. It's supposed to be here in the next couple of days.
Nice.
Nice.
So, yep. And then just have to see what kind of lighting effects or whatever we want to do with that. I was thinking maybe like battle damage. What you could do is you could have like, how it's got the big engines on the back. You could have maybe 3 of them working normally, and one of them maybe sort of like it's sputtering or going off and on, or like it's been damaged or something like that. And
just after the flickering,
maybe a couple of holes where you can see some fire going on inside there or something, fire on a couple of decks or something.
Like my C.
Exactly, yeah, exactly like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool how you did that with the tracing paper and stuff.
Yeah, thanks. I like that one too.
It's certainly effective when you watch the video and you actually saw it all flickering and that. I thought, yeah, that's pretty smart. That's a good idea.
Makes it look like it's on fire in there.
Yeah, did you see where Evan's Lighting actually came up with a new kit for that? It's specific for battle damage, where it's a pretty neat effect. He's got like he showed a Klingon Katinga, the 1537, and on the top there by the bridge or whatever, or by the engineering deck, he had a big hole ripped in it, and you could see like not only did it glow or flicker like it had fire going on, but it had other effects too, like there was things that were shorting out, like wiring that was shorting out, and sparks and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
Huh. Well, I know there's one place makes like a welding imitation. That's probably something like that, kind of like a blue silver type. Yeah.
Evans is just a branch of Tenant Controls. Ralph designs all his boards for him. But let's see, we got a couple comments here. Kenny Law says, with the original release of the AMT Earl Reliant kit, the saucer is not tall enough. The AMT Round 2 repop fixes the saucer height, but there are third-party aftermarket parts that allow you to correct the original kit. I think, who is it, JT Graphics or somebody makes some parts for that original Reliant that you can make the saucer thicker and the corrected bridge and
Federation models.
For Federation models?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that kit, the original kit's a lot easier to get than the repop. The repop's been discontinued.
Like everything.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I don't have anything else. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up and talk about?
Did you ever finish your Spitfire in the end? You started doing your big scale Spitfire a while ago, didn't you?
I've been making a little bit of progress on it, Craig, but not as much as I'd like to.
I was looking forward to seeing that finish because you was quite excited about it from the video.
Yeah, me too. And I've had the kit for over 30 years, and I definitely am going to finish it. And there's Mr. Armando. How you doing, Armando?
Hey, Boyd. Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey, Armando.
Armando, we're going to share the sad news with you, man. We just found out that the damn Round 2 canceled the Alien Queen kit.
Oh, man.
I know how bad you wanted that one, too.
Damn.
They're canceling everything.
I'm telling you, it doesn't surprise me, sad to say, but, oh well. At least I got another one a couple months back. It's not the same kit, but I'm glad I got it. I think it was a Halcyon one, yeah. It's a vinyl kit. It's pretty nice. So,
yeah.
That's a bummer. That looked like a good kit.
Yeah, the pose that they had on that one was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're the master at vinyl kits now. Don't you have any problem with that?
Well, I've got a few under my belt now, that's for sure.
What are you working on today, Armando?
Well, for the last couple of days, I've been trying to fix a boo-boo on my Cylon Raider. Unfortunately, these wings, just so you guys know, they're kind of fragile. And as I was putting together the whole thing, the top and the bottom, the port wing came off, shearing off the wire that goes to my cannon. So, yeah, what was left of the stumps of the wire was so short I couldn't do anything with it. So what I've ended up having to do is open up a hole on the side of the Raider. I'll show you. Let me go get it. The only way I was able to reach in and grab the wires without taking the whole thing apart. I'll just putty it over and close it later. But you can see I'm making a small hole here, and I'm going to get the wires out, make sure that they're soldered and the whole thing works. Then I'll put the wing back on and cover it with plastic and putty and get it all sanded off. But man, when it happened, it was one of those throw the model against the wall moments, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I know we just got your cannons going the other night.
Oh man, yeah, I was so frustrated. I had the whole thing all sealed up, and this comes off, and I go, no! The right side, fortunately, that's what I've been working on the past couple of nights.
Well, it's good that you got it sorted.
Yeah, I should be able to fix it. It's just going to be a little hard. But anyway, so what is everybody else doing here?
Well, the two Andys have just finished showing their beautiful work that they've been doing on the JJ Prize models. And Craig's working on a 350 refit. And Dave showed some shots of his B9 looking really good.
That's for the Hangout.
Okay, well.
But I'll show you some more.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
It's looking nice too. Yeah.
It swivels.
Oh man, nice.
I've got the lights in and everything. I got the fiber optics sticking out for the bulbs there. That how I'm using the Starling board. So got that going.
I love those photo etch screens on the side of his torso too. Those are spot on. Beautiful.
Yeah, the little front opens right here. And then what I noticed when I did the arms, I didn't know this, but I'm going to use the long arms, but the hooks open and close.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you can have holding on to some stuff. You're going to have to scratch build some little Lost in Space, what do you call it? They used to have a bunch of different doodads on that show, little gadgets.
So yeah, I'm getting there. The top part. I've got the, taped off right now, but his mouthpiece that goes in there, and then I'll be working on the head here soon. So I'm moving along.
I'm telling you, man, Dave's a machine.
Yeah, he is.
It's like they're nothing, man.
I don't know, these fiber optics. I'm not great with fiber optics.
Oh, that was a question I was going to ask. With fiber optics, what's the best way of holding like the LED and connecting the fiber optics rather than huge bundles of tape or super glue? Because I've never been able to get it right.
Heat shrink. In this kit, they gave me some 1/4-inch tubing, and it was white, so I had to put some heat shrink over it. But then you can epoxy the fibers into that plastic piece.
And just slide it onto the LED.
Yeah, slides over the LED, and then you just glue the fibers in place.
Cool.
Something I done on my X-Wing, Andy, was if it's around a domed LED, I chop the end off and then drilled a tiny hole straight down the center of the LED to the diode.
Yeah.
And then you can stick your fiber optics inside that and then glue it in.
Yep, I've done that before.
Yeah, Andy and I tried doing the drilling. It worked on one or two, but some of them just seem brighter than others. So.
Yeah, you lose a little bit when you drill into that. Sometimes it because it's made it dull in there, I think, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it doesn't let it pass through. And I've noticed the same thing doing that. They also make what they call fiber optic emitters that are little pieces of tubing, like just plastic tubing, that's made to have an LED put into it, and then you can put a bundle of fiber optics into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, look, tough.
Yeah, it's always a question of what kind of glue to use with those two. I've been able to get away with using CA as long as you use some kicker on it. You've got to cure it instantly. If it soaks on the fiber, it'll ruin it.
Yeah, they go brittle real fast.
Yeah, they get brittle. If you're making any kind of curves or anything, I wouldn't recommend using CA.
Yeah. I use epoxy.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Elmer's, or Microcrystal Clear, or Squadron, or not Squadron, Formula 560. Canopy glue will work for it, but it takes a while for it to dry. That's the problem. You've got to have it setting somewhere where it's not going to move and all that.
I've got a question on the refit, Boyd.
Sure.
You know the rec deck windows, the Paragraphics etched windows, those ones?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you use them on the refit, or is that for the 1701A?
I use them on the refit. I think it's the same on both ships.
Now, on the refit, on the actual holes there, do you cut the middle bit out, or do you just stick them in the holes that are already there?
Yeah, they fit in there. That bigger bar is supposed to remain there across the center, and then one goes on the top and one goes on the bottom.
Seen.
They'll fit right in there without any kind of modification too. They'll fit in there perfectly.
Yeah, I can see that now. It wasn't really clear in the instructions, that's what I was asking.
One thing that you'll probably want to do on that, Craig, is when you do all your painting on the saucer, and then put your window in before you obviously before you close it up and attach it to the bottom. But then just put a piece of masking tape over that whole area and keep it away from that seam, and then you're going to have to fill and putty that seam and paint it, obviously. But they include some individual masks in the orbital dry dock set that's supposed to mask those windows, but they don't fit in there. And if you spray over it, I'm telling you, you're going to get overspray in there.
Yeah, your little tip for the when you put the windows to the top hole, where you taped them off and then puttied it. That's pretty effective. It works pretty well for someone that's never done that before. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, that saucer looks clean. Yeah, really nice.
I even had to go and buy a scribing tool because of that little tip. Cheers for that.
Glad I could help.
Lines back in. Yeah.
Well, the thing about tools is we say that all the time. If you buy tools, you'll have them forever.
Yeah.
Good investment. And there's Mr. Eric.
Hey guys.
Here.
Just finished up lunch at work. How are you guys doing today?
Doing wonderful. Good to see you, Eric. Haven't seen you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no. Since you went to Saturday, since I work on Saturday, there's not much I can do.
I'm sorry, my friend. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you at Jersey Fest. Are you all ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Something special for you to look at when you get there.
Excellent. Yeah, I was just talking to Ralph last night. He's all excited about going, and I got him his little Enterprise all finished up and sent out to him. So, yep, should be pretty fun.
He was really excited about that Enterprise as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he loves it.
He loves us a couple of times.
I was talking to him yesterday about that. He got my curiosity when he talked about it last week. When he's got I think it's from that Fantastic Plastic. They've got the new kit of the flying saucer from the movie The Thing. He's going to be sending that out here, and I'm anxious to check that one out. I'm a big flying saucer guy. When I was a kid, I'm an older guy, of course, and when I was watching the movies when I was a kid, it was all about flying saucers, and I still dig that stuff.
All right, so what are you missing? You got the Invaders, you got Jupiter 2.
The one that I'd like to get, actually, is from, if you guys remember, there's a really old movie called Earth versus the Flying Saucers.
Oh, I remember that.
They had a cool saucer in that one, too, and I know they make a kit of it, but it's kind of small, but I'd like to have one of them, too.
I think I've seen a 1 or 2 inch one.
Yeah, kind of small. Yeah. But somebody already contacted me about that when I mentioned it, and they said that they're doing the, 3D printing And he just said, "Hey, just tell me what size one you want." And I said, "Okay, I'll take one that's 2 feet." And he wrote back and just said, "Whoa, not that big."
How about the Roswell UFO?
Oh, UFO! I love UFO. Jerry Anderson, I totally love. You know, to me, back in the day, the British were the only other people that did miniatures as good as the Japanese did for like the Godzilla movies. The miniature they did in
the Roswell UFO.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah, but Space 1999 and UFO. I wish they would have made more episodes of UFO. I absolutely love that show.
Brilliant. I'd love to get a big interceptor.
I'm seeing it.
What part? Do you guys know that live over there? What part of England did they film most of that in?
Pinewood, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it's Pinewood. Yeah.
Yeah, just down the road
Pinewood
from me.
Studios. That place has a lot of history behind it.
Yeah, it does.
Do they give tours? Can you go over there and tour that whole thing?
I think you can. I don't think you get everywhere though, because it's still pretty active. So
yeah. Are they shooting any of the new Star Wars stuff there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
There's a competition being run at the minute. I can't remember who's running it now, but you can win to visit the set of the new Star Wars at Pinewood.
Yeah.
You're actually getting the movie as an extra and stuff, and all sorts. I can't remember who's running the competition now. It was posted on Google Plus the other day.
I saw J.J. Abrams the other day. I posted that video of him standing in front of the X-wing.
Oh
Yeah, it was linked off of that.
Yeah, it was.
There's a link on that, and it takes you to the competition where you can get in the movie and visit the set.
Wow. Did you guys see the picture of Mark Hamill sporting the Obi-Wan Kenobi beard?
Yeah. He looks good.
He does.
Premise for the movie sounds pretty cool if it's what it is.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. Yep. You know that just the fact that they're going to have the original cast in it, it's going to be a smash hit, at least for the first opening week anyway, and I really hope it does well. Yeah. Recently, when I went out to L.A., it was pretty neat to stand in front of the Vans Chinese Theater there, and because I remember seeing the video of the opening night of the original Star Wars when they had everybody there. That was really cool. The whole cast was all there in costume and everything, and
Nice.
a lot of history in that place too. Have you guys? I'll bring up something really quick. Have you guys seen the video that Paul Olson posted on YouTube about searching for the Enterprise model?
Yeah.
Well, a little bit of news on that front. We finally tracked down who owns the model, and it turned out to be Jeff Bezos, who owns Blue Origins here in the United States. And the model is apparently on display in their lobby at their corporate headquarters out in Seattle. And so now he's in the process of trying to contact him directly and see if they can sit down and have a talk about getting that done. As a fan, I'm really excited about it. I hope the for me anyway, I think it's a win-win for Mr. Bezos if he was to allow him to do the work. I mean, the model is not in that great a shape right now, and they would restore it like perfectly, exactly like it was when it was brand new. These guys know the model inside and out, and the chance to upgrade it to modern electronics, when they had it set up originally, they had iridescent bulbs and things like they could only run the model for a few minutes and it would start to get hot. And from what I understand, half of the electronics don't work on it anymore. And what would be cool, it has a really cool control box, but they could take all that electronics and upgrade it and still have it where that original control box is functional. You know what I mean? And have it still look like the original, and then get fans a chance to be able to see it when it's done. I think it would be fantastic.
Weren't they looking for volunteers to help with the refurbishment of it?
Yeah, they're talking about Paul says that they have a facility out in Hollywood, all ready to do it, and of course, Paul lives over in England. He would come back over here. He said it would probably take about a year to do the project. Talking to Jim Dow, who built the model, he pretty much assumes that they will have to completely disassemble it and start from scratch almost, and hopefully preserve as much as they can of the original, and you know, just kind of fix the cracks and things on it here and there, and then do a repaint on it and freshen it up with new electronics. And you know, they want to do a documentary on it, and that would be what would finance the whole thing. So in effect, the owner would not have to invest any money in it at all. All he has to do is give it up for a year, and then get it back, and he'll have a masterpiece when he's done. I mean, priceless. So I hope he'll consider it. But it was amazing to me how many people were interested in it, and you know, got behind the whole push to get it done. So the fans want to see it too, obviously.
Yeah. You guys get all the fun, don't you?
We've got
nothing over here to do.
it looks like we've got Chris Cortell who just joined us. Are you there, Chris?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, glad to have you on with us today, Chris. Long time no see.
Yeah, well,
Oh, looks like you got something going on your bench there. We actually get a different view of Chris's bench.
oh yeah, I finally got my phone working on it. Yeah, I'm working on actually 37 Ford for Jim Marksberry, kind of like a tribute to Boss Jim.
Yeah, I
And
was
so
a big fan of Jim's work too. Sad to hear about that.
Yeah, he was doing that. So,
Yeah, we've lost your picture now, Chris. I had you for a second, but you disappeared.
uh-oh.
Seeing your icon, but no picture.
Huh.
I can still hear you.
I
Really?
can see him.
Can you see him, Dave?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see him.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Let me switch back. There he is. I got you back.
Okay.
Looks like you're working on the chassis there today, huh, Chris?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually running brake lines. We're trying to run.
Nice.
Yeah.
I totally loved your Dragon Lady build. Of course, being a big Mopar guy like I am, I thought that turned out just beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Shirley Sheehan's Dart.
Yeah, awesome. I'm old enough to remember seeing those cars on the street. Well, not many of the Hemi versions of it, you know, from the factory, but people who would modify them and put big blocks in them, and man, they were quite the beast.
Well, you bring it one. Actually, it was a guy that owned it in the Rapid Transit.
Yeah, I remember them.
And a factory Hemi Dart. It was one done by Hearst. It wasn't a clone of one. That's the only one I ever been in.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Yep.
Yeah, it was really.
Chris, I've got something that you might like right here. This isn't a model, of course, but it's a nice die cast, and I had one of these that I used to drag race exactly like it.
Oh, Cam Chargers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I sold this car about. It's got the nice Hemi in there.
Yeah.
Mine had a nice. I had a 440 in mine, and in street trim the car would run like mid 11s.
Uh-huh.
And I sold it. I sold the car to a guy over in Germany, and you can go on YouTube and watch videos of him winning races with the car over there in Germany. So it's pretty cool. It's weird seeing the car with like German license plates. And what they do is they have a big Mopars are like really big in Germany for some reason, and what they do is like every couple of months they rent one of the local airstrips and they drag race on the airstrip, and they get a whole bunch of people out there with their cars, and he's got videos of him racing and everything. Every time I see him, he's got a big old smile on his face, and it's pretty cool. But you can see pictures of my old car beating all these souped-up Chargers and Cudas and everything. It's like he said it still runs good. He hasn't had to touch that engine, so
Okay. Wow. Pretty cool.
he must have did something right.
That's right. Pretty cool.
What are you running about in now, Boyd?
I'm sorry?
What car you got now?
I don't have anything right now. I've turned my garage into a model shop instead. You know, the story with building old cars is that, for me anyway, is I always wound up doing all my own work by myself. You know, my friends would always call me up and say, hey, can you come over and help me fix this and this and this? And I'd go over there, and wind up, putting an engine in their car for them. And then when I call them and say, hey, I need some help, putting my engine in my car, oh, sorry, I'm busy. So it gets to be pretty hard to do all by yourself when you get up there, and I'm getting a little bit older now, and it's hard work.
Yeah.
Not too hard to put in the model engines, though.
No, they take up a lot less space, and they're not nearly as messy to work on either.
Yeah, my dream car's got to be a '69 Charger.
Oh boy, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard.
A2. Yeah. Yeah, I had fun building up that little kit, that 16th scale MPC kit. I built that here a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing the pictures of that. It was real nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Those MPC kits though are so terrible as far as the the body needed to have the front fenders redone, and the flash on their parts is really, really bad. When you look at the parts tree for the chrome parts especially, it's like completely buried in flash. And for some reason, Chris might tell you the same thing. To me, the MPC kits, the chrome parts were always the most brittle out of all the model kits. And you got to be so careful not to break the stuff. And but yeah, they're fun kits and they're detailed. I mean, the Petty Charger I did too was a lot of fun.
Did you do the
I'm sorry, Chris. What was that?
Did you do the charge?
I sure did. Yeah.
How did you fix the wheel problem with the wheels were actually too big for that?
Yeah. Well, I took your advice when I asked you about it. What I did is on the inner part of the mod on the hub, they have they actually on that model have the detail of the brake shoes inside the hub. And so I just shaved those down to about half the width that they should be, and she won't stop as good as she's supposed to, but we don't worry about that. And that was able to bring the wheels inboard maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, something like that, a little bit more. And that's all it needed. Then they fit right inside just fine.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. I was thinking I was going to have to actually narrow the axle housing itself, but no, that worked out really good. And then modify the front fenders, because when I opened up the kit, I was like, what in the hell? This thing looks like an old short track stock car or something, with the open fenders in the front. But it's a neat model. Yep.
The next one.
I met John Schneider once. He used to live in San Antonio. I don't know if he still does or not, but they had a car show here, and he had his. I think he just recently sold it, but he had his own General Lee, and man, it was beautiful.
Nice.
He put a lot of money in it.
First thing I noticed on the Charger was you corrected the fender shape. Oh, something wrong. It's like a dirt track.
I did my best. They're not perfect. You had to kind of shape them, and I tried to use the shape of the rear quarter panel out, opening as best as I could. It came out all right. It certainly looks better than it did. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I had the only issue I had is for some reason all the decals went on it fine, but when I put the Rebel flag on the roof, it just like completely shriveled up, like it had all these wrinkles in it, and so I put some microsol on it and I let that sit for a while, and I thought, okay, just you don't want to fiddle with that stuff too much, so I thought, okay, just walk away and let it settle down. And then after I came back and looked at it overnight, it still had quite a bit of wrinkles in it. So what I wound up doing is I would put a coat of clear on it, let that dry, and then I would wet sand it. And I did that about 5 or 6 times until I finally got enough layer of clear on it to where it made the whole thing look like it was blended in and smooth.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, unfortunately it didn't ruin the decal, but yeah, I don't know why. That one decal, every other decal went on there just fine, but that one just completely went nuts on me when I put it on there. I don't know why it did that.
That's like the iconic decal, though, isn't it? That flag.
Yeah, you have to have that on there. Yeah. It's not the car without it.
Right.
And talking about that a little bit, with all the politically correct stuff that they have going on nowadays, especially here in the States, I'm kind of wondering how much longer it'll be before they won't even let them put that on the car anymore. or you'll have to get the decals separately or paint it on or something like that.
Right.
I noticed even on the box art they don't show that picture. They show the car from the side. You know, they don't want you to see that on there. So.
What's the big issue with that then?
Well,
why is that PC?
It's become, you know, supposedly it's a symbol for
Same
slavery and stuff like that, and I don't know. To me, it's a mistake to start trying to cover up or ignore history and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just a flag, you know.
Kind of like the swastika.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing.
A lot of the military kits now, you know, I'll give you a good one. Chris, you built that Rommel's Rod model.
I did, yeah.
Well, I remember buying that kit back in the 70s when it was brand new and it had swastikas with it. I'll guarantee it doesn't anymore.
It did. It had, on the flags on the fenders had the swastikas on them.
Oh, they still came with it? That's amazing. Yeah, they've. I know a lot of the German aircraft airplane kits. When you buy them, they don't come with those anymore. You have to get them separate or paint them on.
Now it has a German cross on it instead of the German swastika.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, but you're right. The original issue had the swastika.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I remember that. My grandparents were both German, and I remember when I was a kid, I used to go stay with them every summer. They lived up in South Dakota. And I got the kit, and it was cool because it had all this German writing on there, you know, that said, like, something verboten and this and that. And I was asking my grandma what it all said, and she was just kind of, you know, telling me what it said, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. Yeah. They came over from Germany, like, in the early 1900s, and my grandfather had about a 10,000-acre farm out in South Dakota. It landed as far as you could see. Pretty neat.
It looks like we're going back to 1938, the way things are in France at the minute.
Yeah.
Been watching the news.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just full circle, isn't it?
It's just trouble all over the world going on, it seems like. I hope things start to settle down.
Me too.
I must have missed something. What's going on in France?
I'd probably just watch it, mate. It's probably not appropriate for a hangout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Particularly live.
Go and have a look in a bit.
You know,
That's why we build models, guys, to take our minds off of all that stuff. That's the reason I like to just kind of get in my own little world and forget about all that crap after I come home from work. And it's the most relaxing thing I've ever found, I think.
Yeah.
And it can have stress too, though. It's not totally stress-free.
Yeah, stress figuring out what you're going to do next.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Mondo, you got plenty of choices.
Oh no, I'm talking about the stress, man. Like when this wing fell off and I had to fix
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you was talking about picking your next kit.
it. Oh no.
Oh, who's holding up the Star Destroyer there?
And it's
That's Andy. What kit is that, Andy?
AMT?
Oh, wow, that's a vintage kit. Yeah, the old fiber optics version. Very nice. I'm having trouble with. Can anybody hear Andy? I'm having trouble with his audio again.
I can't
Yeah, I
hear
can't
him.
hear me either.
Early
Anyways, that's a nice kit, Andy. Is that your next project? Oh, he's gone. Maybe he's going to try to reconnect.
Yeah. He found some guy on eBay that was selling a bunch of them, and nobody bought them. And so he phoned the guy up, and he said, "Come down and see me."
Excellent.
Oh,
Try it again now, Andy. Can you hear? Let's see if we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
We've had problems with our internet around here. Everybody has. It's been horrible.
Yeah, that's a great
yeah.
kit, Andy. Is that your next project?
Well, I've got a Defiant and a Runabout that's arrived, both with the DLM parts, and I've got that, so it's a three-way coin toss. I'm not sure. see. But I was at the model shop today, and well, in the UK we've had a couple of releases this week, but very expensive. For what the new style of the new, well, new old Electra and the Terminator.
That'll be great. Yeah, I'm trying to talk our good friend Chris Cortell over there into building up a 350 scale Enterprise. I'd love to see him do it.
Right. I'm
Do you have one of the kits, Chris?
I don't know. The only thing I have that's really large scale is a flying ship.
Ah, man, I'll tell you, if you guys might not have missed it, Chris puts out a lot of videos under Classic Plastic 101, but I think it was maybe almost a year ago now, he took us on a little tour of his stash that he's got in his basement, and it was like walking into a hobby store. He's got all these beautiful models on the shelves with vintage kits and a little bit of everything, too. I mean, he's got airplanes, ships, cars, spaceships, everything. Kid in a candy store.
I've been looking at his female predator videos. I'm going to be building that soon.
That's still one of my favorites. That one and his Cylon Centurion, I think, are my two favorite videos that he's done so far. They were both beautiful. The paintwork on the female predator is fantastic.
I personally like the Ding Dong review.
Some of the guys in just like way too serious, but
Well, Chris, I don't know if you heard or not, but I've got a friend now that's coming over and helping me out here a little bit in the shop, and he's a big car guy. I wanted to show you this. You might not have seen it yet. He's going to start on this one here in the next couple of days.
yeah, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now, didn't you build this kit?
I built it as Agent Nelson.
That's right. Yeah. Now he wants to do the lighting on this, and I was talking to Bob Busking there a minute ago. Unfortunately, when I looked at the kit, I realized that it didn't have any. The headlights are molded into the chrome on the bumper, so there's no separate headlight lenses. So he was saying that there's a model railroading place that has where you can buy those. Do you know of any place that sells like the regular car headlight lenses in scale? Ah, okay. I might have to look around at one of my old kits and see if I have a couple of. It's going to be hard to make that look right without without having the lenses.
What scale is it, Boyd?
It's 1/25.
1/25. You might find something in the RC world. You know, some RC light pockets or something.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Or slot car.
Idea. Yeah. Slot cars too. Yeah. A lot of the slot car guys do lighting on them now, right? When they put them on the track, they light up. Yeah. I can remember when they used to have slot car tracks that were like 10 lanes wide. You could go down to the place and race, bring your own car, bring your own little toolbox. Yeah.
Nobody. Hobby shop and a slot car track in the back. 10 lanes wide every Friday and Saturday night. They would hold meets.
The good old days. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah, my dad used to have a slot car kit. My brother and cousin just crashed and broke them to pieces. He got mad when he found out.
Well, some of the old ones now that they used to be quite a bit bigger. I don't remember what scale they were, but the kits, the slot cars that I had back in the early '70s were almost as big as a 1/25th scale. Maybe they were 1/25th scale. I don't know, but
yeah, they were. Yeah.
Some of those old ones now are worth a lot of money, especially if there's certain ones, like some of the famous race cars and stuff. Yeah, I've looked at some. eBay, and some of them are worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Well, I know a couple of the monogram kits were actually slot car kits. You could build them either as a slot car or a model like a curb kit.
Yeah. Yep.
Monogram putting those out. I think I have two of them. I have the Scarab and the Chaparral.
Oh yeah, those are both beautiful.
Or I think the 124, 125th. Those are actually slot cars.
Yeah. I can't remember, but back in the day, I built a model kit of a Ford GT40, and I don't remember who put it out, but it was like I got it for Christmas one year, and it was like one of the most detailed model kits. I wish I could find that kit again. I've looked it up, but I just don't seem to find anything that
I think Tamiya made one.
Tamiya?
Yeah, I'm sure they did. They did the GT90 as well. Was that monogram? The Ford GT90, the one that replaced it?
Yeah.
It was either Tamiya or whatever, or monogram. It was one of the two, because I remember I wanted one.
The GT40, I think, was one of the most successful American race cars of all time. It was a real winner. Beautiful from every angle, too.
1/24th scale.
Mm-hmm. There's a large scale kit of the, I think it's 1/16th maybe, or maybe 1/12th, I can't remember, but of the AC Cobra that I built a long time ago, too, that I'd like to build another one of them.
I think it was 1/16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it built up really nice. I've improved on my painting since, and I'd like to have another shot at it.
Good.
How many of you guys still have some of your models that you built when you were a kid?
I do.
Not me.
Yeah.
I got a couple.
Yeah, I think I got a couple somewhere.
Yep.
Mine was Tom Daniels kits.
Yeah, I remember those. I met Tom Daniel years ago at some car show. He was there signing autographs.
He's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
The guy from the Facebook group actually had an interview with him and said, yeah, go ahead and post it in his Facebook group.
They all seem to be really nice guys. George Barris is a really nice guy. I thought that 2 years ago for Christmas, my wife bought me the Munsters cars. You know, they come in the collectible tin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she got it through George Barris' website, and he autographed it. So I'm never going to open it. He was cool though, because he took the plastic off and actually autographed the tin, you know, because the plastic would get old and crappy over time. But so yeah, I'm never going to build that one. But yeah, he's getting pretty old. He's like 85 or 90 years old now.
Wow. Gee.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. He just sold his original Hero Batmobile, the original Batmobile, at the Barrett Jackson auction, I think, last year, and it went for over $1 million.
Yeah, it went for what, 8 million, 7 million, something like that?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
I can only find two on that GT40. One's Fujimi and one's Revell. That made 1/24th GT40.
Yeah, Craig, I can't even remember who of course, when I was a kid, I didn't really pay attention to like who made it. I just remember that it came in a pretty big box, and it had more parts than I'd ever seen on a model kit before. I mean, you had to build every little detail on the suspension and the engine and everything, you know, and it had the back that, you know, flipped up, and it was really quite something. And I don't even know what happened to it. It's one of my models that I know I didn't blow it up with firecrackers, but.
That bring back something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to have one of those again, and maybe I'll have to settle for a Tamiya kit or something like that, because I sure like that car.
I'm sure Tamiya do it. I'm sure they did a GT90 as well. I'm almost sure they did. Because I remember being sort of like a young spotty little runt at one point, looking at the little catalogue, going, "I want one of them. I want one of them." Never got one.
I'd love to have a nice model of the Aston Martin DB5. What was it, like 1961 or 62? The one that James Bond had in Goldfinger.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty hard kit to find too, from what I could tell by doing a little bit of searching around for it.
The one I built was made by Aurora.
Oh, really? You've built one, Chris?
An Aurora one.
Okay.
It was Aston. It was I think of the year. And it was Aurora issue originally, and then later on they reissued it. I don't know who has the mold, not Bell. He has the mold, or mold.
Okay.
So 6-7 years ago it was reissued.
I'm a huge James Bond fan. I love the new Skyfall movie, and when they brought that car out, I just about fell off my chair. I was like, oh, there it is. Such a beautiful car. And then they blew it up. But yeah, I was glad to see that when I watched the behind the scenes and they showed how they actually used a Porsche.
Yeah.
And
I cried at that scene when that car got blown up before they realised it wasn't a real one.
I think most grown men did.
Oh wow, he's got the Sean Connery. Is that the old Aurora kit?
Yeah, I just got it actually. Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to get the. I want to get the car too again, so I'm looking just like.
Still the best Bond. Sean Connery is James Bond.
Oh, yeah. Still the best.
I liked Skyfall though. I thought that was one of the better. Man, that guy they had in there for the bad guy, he was just flat out creepy. I mean, he was. That guy was weird. Great movie. I hope the next one's going to be good. I think they're already working on the next one.
The only thing I didn't like about Skyfall was it wasn't as techy as the other James Bonds.
Yeah.
You know, Q was always like giving him all sorts of Gucci gadgets, but there weren't that much in it.
Yeah. They kind of, the new guy was like, what did he say that line? He said, what do you think, we were going to give you an exploding pen?
Well, when the invisible car came out, it did get a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's nice they toned it back a bit.
I saw something on the internet the other day where somebody's restoring the Lotus from The Spy Who Loved Me. Is that the one that was submersible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, somebody's doing a restoration on that.
Love that car.
Yeah, they always had some nice cars. And then, do you guys remember? Some of you in England may remember the old Roger Moore show, The Saint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one with Tony Curtis. Was it The Persuaders?
Yep.
That was another. Wasn't that an Austin that he had in that one that Roger Moore drove? Was it an Austin or was it something else? Maybe it was an Austin Healey. I can't remember what it is, but
I don't remember what the car was.
that car has just been restored too, and it's sold at an auction for a lot of money. Yeah, Tony Curtis drove a Ferrari, and he drove either an Austin or a Austin Martin, it was a bigger Austin Martin, though more of a square-looking kind of shape, but it was still beautiful.
If you want to buy a real Aston, they've just brought out a new City Aston. It looks like a smart car. It's like £20,000 or something.
Wow.
Seriously, it's like a roller skate, but it's badged up Aston Martin. It looks like a Nissan Micra, if anyone from the UK knows what I mean. Just Google it, man.
I couldn't picture myself driving one of those.
It's horrendous.
I saw going down the road a couple of weeks ago. We have these the ones over here called the Smart Car, and they're really, really small. And I was going to work the other day, and I saw two old women riding in one. They had sunglasses on, looked like they were having a good old time. They were like 85 years old. Wish I could have got a picture of that. I wonder if they ever thought when they were young that that we'd be driving cars like that. The cars they grew up with were like 20 feet long.
Yeah. Barges.
Yeah. Land yachts.
Yeah.
It's called an Aston Martin Signet. If you
Okay.
yeah, I'm just loading a picture up for it now. It's absolutely awful. Oh,
Yeah.
it was until I threw my phone away.
Hope that wasn't your refit.
Oh, don't even go there. There. Oh. Can you see that?
Ah.
Really?
Oh
That's,
wow!
That's
Yeah, that
an
is
Aston
small.
Martin Signet.
Looks like a
It's
mini.
pretty much smart car size.
It's got the DB5 grill though, so it's kind of cool.
I'm sure it's only something like a 1.5 litre or something though.
You can probably get out and walk faster.
Specifications of it.
Bet it weighs next to nothing.
There was a cute video that came out on Facebook a couple weeks ago where a guy was in one of those cars and he was acting like he was you know, Mario Andretti or something, and they showed the side view of the car and they showed an old lady with a walker passing him.
Yeah.
That Aston Martin has got 97 brake horsepower. It's a 1.3 litre 4-cylinder with a 6-speed manual gearbox.
I've had motorcycles that had more horsepower than that.
0 to 62 in 11.8 seconds. Fuel economy 56 miles a gallon.
Now that's something that's pretty respectable. Oh yeah, I love the sound of grinding plastic. Music to my ears.
Yeah.
Yep, now if I can just get it to fit right.
It's the important part.
The only part about this thing I hate is the bottom. I have a problem putting it together.
I'm just going to check the questions here real quick, everybody, and see if we had anything else come in. Jay Godby was here. He said, speaking of the old Reliant kit, I just picked up a kit for $9. Hey, way to go, Jay. That's a good deal.
Nice.
Yeah, Kenny Lau says, looking at the very few reference pictures of the original studio scale or studio Reliant filming miniature, it looks like the paragraphics photo etch part for the officers' lounge windows is incorrect, and that is true. The actual officers' lounge on the Reliant studio model is a very narrow little slit going across the back of the PC deck, where the paragraphics thing is kind of a big opened up looking thing. It's hard to find good reference pictures of the original Reliant.
Mm.
On my list, I'll take note of that.
Okay, I've got someone called Livilsons, if I'm saying that correctly, Livilsons or Livisons, asking how to get into the Google Hangouts. Well, Livisons, what you have to do is you have to sign up for a Google Plus account, and then if you want to get into, say, the SFMA Hangout, you need to go over to the Sci-Fi Model Action Google page, and you'll see there that there will be an invitation or announcement, actually, of when the Hangout's going to take place. I usually try to put them up several days ahead of time. And all you have to do in there is go in there and click on I'm going to attend, and then you will get put into the circle for the Hangouts. And when we start the Hangout, you'll receive an invitation through your notifications from Google+, which you can set it up where it can notify you through email. It can even ring your phone, however you choose. Once you get that invitation, you just click on it and you'll be able to join into the Hangout. So I hope that helps you out. If you have any problems with it or whatever, just post your questions over there at the Sci-Fi Model Action Google page, and myself or somebody out there will help you out getting yourself set up for that. We'd like to have you Join us.
Now, fun part.
Question. Oh, Shannon, that was your question. Okay.
Yeah, you done answered it.
Another question. Hi, one of you guys who have the Master Replicas Enterprise, I'm looking for pictures of the phaser cannon that was attached to the planetary sensor. Okay, well, I have one of them in Lewison's, and if again, if you go to the, I'll post a picture of that. If you want to see that, I'll put that over on the Google Plus Sci-Fi Model Action page. Ian Hamilton asks, on the 1537 scale Reliant kit, was there any problem getting the 1.5 millimeter LEDs to pop up through the plastic and the light blocking the paint? Well, on the models that I build, Ian, I try to, like a lot of these guys do, I'm sure, we try to keep our lighting in scale on the model. So the smaller the LED, the better in most cases. And the 1.5 that I'm using has a little bit of a dome that sticks up on the top of it, and it will fit just about perfectly into the. Once you drill a small little hole, I can't remember what size drill bit. I just kind of matched it up to the LED. But you drill a little hole there, and what you're going to do is on the back side, on the bottom side, on the inside of the model, take a little grinding tool or something like that and grind away a little bit of the material, make it a little bit thinner, so that the LED can go up into that hole a little bit farther. Now, I personally don't like to have the LED bulb sticking up above the surface to where it looks like a little dome sticking up on there, because when you look at a lot of the pictures of the filming miniatures, they don't have that. The lighting is all pretty much flush on the top, and it doesn't have to be sticking up above the top of the model to be able to see it either. Once it lights, you're gonna see it light up, and so that's basically how you do that. And then once I get the LED mounted in there, as I showed a minute ago, the pictures, we take a little bit of black paint and we paint over that from the back, so that the light from the LED doesn't leak into the inside of the model and bleed over into like where you might have some windows next to it or something else that you don't want to show the green or the red light showing in there. And I'm pretty sure that's pretty much how the other guys here do that as well. You guys have any ideas or thoughts on that?
I think we use the same stuff as you, boy. Tulip.
Tulip, right.
I just usually go over with black gloss. Umbral black gloss, just go over the top of it.
Explain a little bit about what tulip is.
Well, tulip is, well, at least the version that we get over here is fabric paint, and it's really thick and gloopy, and most of the time you get away with one coat, but maybe two, and it will just cover any light from any LED.
And how do you apply that, Andy? Do you use a brush, or do you?
Yeah, just any old paintbrush. I mean, I don't know about the actual tulip guys that you use over there. The stuff that we use is this called Dylon fabric paint. But yeah, basically any paintbrush, and then it just comes off with water.
So water can break it down. Okay.
Yeah, it's really easy to use.
Very nice. And that's available in different colors too, white, black, different colors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Let me ask you really quick, what kind of a consistency does it have when it dries? Does it dry hard, or does it dry sort of like canopy glue or like Elmer's glue, where it's a little bit kind of flexible, almost like silicone or something like that?
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah, it feels a little bit tacky, even though it's fully dried.
Okay.
It feels rubbery, but it'll go over anything. I mean, crystal clear. And actually, over here, I've found something that's pretty much the same as crystal clear. This is just standard craft PVA glue, but it dries completely clear. Don't know if we're sponsored by Crystal Clear or not, but it's a lot cheaper. So yeah, and everything goes. It just goes over everything. That black paint.
There's another type of a glue that we have over here that I think Chris mentioned it on one of his videos too. It's called tacky glue. You can buy it at your local Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and it's almost exactly the same as I compare it more to like Formula 560 canopy glue than crystal clear, because it won't dry like perfectly clear, but clear enough where if you're going to be using it for doing lighting or something like that, where the light will definitely pass through it really easy. And it's actually a better deal than the canopy glue because it's a bigger bottle, and it's much less expensive. I think you can buy about an 8-ounce bottle of it for $3 or $4, something like that.
Huh.
Mm.
And it works really good. Comes in kind of a copperish colored bottle.
Yeah, it's definitely for those people that are listening in or, you know, are new to the groups. It's been fantastic. The amount of stuff that I've learned from just being a member of the groups for a couple of months, the different, you know, easy techniques.
And everybody has good information, Andy. Everybody has, you know, it's an invaluable tool, like we were saying a while back. With the advent of the internet, it's just made it so much easier for people who are starting out, or if you've been away from the hobby for a long time and you're coming back to it, to find information and share information, and it can take a lot of the frustration out of it. Like, you know, before you didn't talk to any other modelers unless you happened to go to like a local modeling show or something like that, or there just wasn't anywhere to find anything out. So yeah, it's great to see all the YouTube channels, all the forums, everything.
It also gets very expensive because of all those YouTube channels and forums.
Yeah, it does.
It can, yeah, it can. I'll point out that I think our friend Chris here is probably one of the best people that I've seen on his YouTube channel that really has an incredible knowledge of different ways that you can do things and do it in an economical way. In other words, finding products that are out there that are similar to what we use in the hobby that they sell at hobby stores, that they obviously mark up because it is for the so-called hobby.
Right.
But you can, Chris is constantly giving out pointers. I think one of the nice ones he talked about was those craft paints that he's using and how inexpensive they are, and that he demonstrates how well they work, and different types of glues, and just, you know, looking around and finding like even household items that work. I remember when I looked at his video about a year ago when he was doing a model of a Chevy Nova, and he was using that Future to do the clear coat on it. And I remember when I first saw the video, I was pretty skeptical, and I was like, that's not going to work. And when he showed the model when it was done, it was just beautiful. The gloss on it, it looked better than the tester's stuff that you buy or whatever. And obviously, a whole bottle of that Future you could, you know, those little cans of Tester's paint, that cheap little 3-ounce can of paint is like, what, $9, $10 now?
Yeah,
And you could paint 30 or 40 models with that bottle of Future.
Yeah, the Future I have, I've had it now for 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to go bad when it sits. And you're getting some great results with it. And
when you get it in the UK as well.
It's nice too because it's really reactive neutral. It doesn't seem to react badly with anything.
Yeah, it's really for all kinds of things. I haven't had really never had any.
Yep.
Really.
And even Chris, when you were working on that Dragon Lady dart, I watched the last video where you showed you had some decals that you had to put on the glass of the model, and you went over it with that Future, and you couldn't even tell. I mean, it blended in perfect. And I always wondered about how do you seal decals on glass, you know, without ruining it.
Right.
That looked really good. Yeah, because you have to seal them. I mean, otherwise they're going to peel off later on, and that was a nice solution for that.
The one I saw I liked was Chris was using the Future with the paint, and then brushing the paint with a brush, and the Future self-leveling, so you couldn't even tell that it was brushed.
Right.
I think I was Cobra helicopter I built for
Yeah, that Huey, yeah, that turned out beautiful. When you showed it up close, you couldn't see any of the paint lines or anything. It looked perfect.
crap.
Yeah, crappy kit, but you made it look good.
A lot of filler on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, at first I used my washer fluid that I use for grab acrylics to paint. That's a big no-no. So, I mean, it dried almost instantly, so I couldn't even brush it. Made it worse.
Right.
Well, because you're sitting there, so I thought, well, what the heck? And then I found it in there, tried it.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than doing a whole bunch of work on your model and then having a paint reaction. Oh my gosh, it just, especially if it's something that's already been assembled and it's you know, it's a real bear to get it cleaned up. If it's just a body or something like that, you can just dump the whole thing in something and strip it. But if it's a saucer or a hull for an Enterprise that's got like lighting already inside of it and everything, wow, yeah, it's a bad deal.
That's what I'm worried about with this refit. I'll cry like a scolded child if it breaks.
Yeah. What type of paint are you planning on using on that one, Craig? I mean, for the basic hull.
At the minute, it's had Humbrol spray primer, then it's had Humbrol matte white in spray can form as the base so far. But then I'm going to go over it with Vallejo off-white. And then on top of that, it'll go the iridescent stuff.
Yeah. Well, Humbrol and Vallejo are good brands, so hopefully you won't have any problem with that.
Yeah, it's not the paint that's the issue. It might be me.
Well, the one that I know I've heard a lot of people shy away from is anything made by Rust-Oleum. That seems to be a real no-no. It's got, somebody claims that it has fish oil in it now. Why in all God's green earth would they put fish oil in paint? I have no idea, but apparently they do, and it reacts really bad with other types of paints. It's tempting to use it because it's cheap. I guess it's one of those things you get what you pay for, but everybody's always looking for low cost, and yeah, sometimes it can backfire. Well, gentlemen, I'm showing just about 2 hours in here, so I've got some stuff I've got to do here around the shop before I get on to this evening, so I'm going to call this one a wrap. Anybody have any final closing comments or anything they want to say? You guys want to mention, if you have your mention your YouTube channels or anything like that?
Well, I've got a YouTube channel under my name, under Dave Pashadeg, so.
Okay.
I'm doing my build, and I'll have another B9 update coming up here soon, so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, Dave. I'm learning a lot about that model from watching your video.
And
of course, Chris Cortell here. He's I've got to say he's one of my favorite channels. He covers everything, guys. You know, he builds sci-fi, automotive, military, and he's really down to earth, and he's all about the hobby and helping people out. And you can find some really, really good information about painting, about glue, about you know, just having a good time building models in a really relaxed way. So that's Classic Plastic 101. If you haven't checked out his channel yet. And again, guys, I want to say thanks for joining us this week. I appreciate you guys showing up, and thanks for showing us your beautiful models that you're working on. And we'll see you again next week at the same time, and see what we're working on next week, everybody.
Alrighty. Can you give me 1 minute, though, Boyd, before you jump off?
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. So take care out there, everybody. Happy modeling, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Night, John Girl.